Hello, and welcome to episode 17 of the Road to Champions League Glory. Today we're going to have a look at what happened over the summer before Season 4. So, last time you were with us, we announced the news that we'd got promoted from League 2 by finishing in second place. So over the summer there was a bit of a transition in Bishops Stortford. There were a few transfers out and a few transfers in. There was a little bit of money spent and a lot of money come in. So let's have a little look straight away at our transfers out. So as you can see, we had two big transfers which we gained a lot of money from. So first one was Ivan, who was one of the Czech boys that we were able to pick up in the end of season 2, season 3. And we picked up Ivan for a free transfer. He was in the Czech Republic under 21s squad at 16 at that point. We were able to pick him up, and he didn't play loads of games for us last season. He wasn't a first team regular. He came into the team about January time, but ever since then he did a good job for us, and obviously there was clubs sniffing around him. We were able to sell him for £400,000, and I'll show you the clauses in a minute when I show you the clause of Samolo as well. But we were able to get a good little bit of profit on, as you can see, going up to 825, which is great for us. Then we also had an offer come in for Samolo, who's a left winger who, yes, he's got good physicals, good determination, but really, he hadn't really played for us much. On the games that he had played for us, they'd been off the bench mainly. He'd played one in the Cup, so not outstanding. I think he was one that was going to develop over time. But unfortunately, he's not going to do that at our club. He's going to do it at Hull. So he's gone off to Hull. So I'll show you now the clauses of those two boys. So if you look, the four boys that we've sold, I'll show you the clauses of all of them. So Samolo's Hull have to agree to a friendly, and also we get 50% of the profit made on the next transfer of him. So whatever profit they get, we get 50% off it, which is great for us, because if he sells for £1 million, then we get 50% of the profit made. So we've got to think about that and remember it. Then Ivan, this was one that actually the board made the decision on, a bit like the one with David last year. I had accepted offers from other clubs, but unfortunately they didn't accept. The board took this on offer and he went to Newcastle. Can't blame him, Newcastle big club. So we got 22 grand for the next 10 appearances in the league, 110 when he makes his first international appearance, 110 after 10 league appearances, and they're paying £14,000 a month. Obviously, you've seen the boys on those last ones as well. So we had a bit of money come in. Then if we look at transfers in, yes, there's a long list of players that have come in. We kind of had a bit of money, so we kind of did a bit of an overhaul. We chucked it all onto wages, more or less, which kind of puts us, miraculously, still not even in the top half of money spent on wages in this league. So we're still gaining that reputation. We're still gaining that ownership of being able to offer decent wages to our players, which is quite nice to be able to have that opportunity. I didn't feel we needed to buy anyone. The players that I'm looking at are still free transfers, which is ideal. So let's have a little look at them. So at the beginning of the season, we targeted a left back. We were able to bring in a left back, Adam McCourt, Northern Irish international, 19 years old. Again, was able to spot him. Scouted Northern Ireland as well. Spotted him towards the end of last season. Saw that his contract was running out. Saw that he was a good little chance to get him. Stats very good. My coaches think he's going to be a good little player. So that's that one. Then we got Drazan, who's coming as a left winger. He's going to be playing as an inside forward. Aggression's a little bit high, but the rest of the stats are nice. He's actually 3 caps for international level as well. Good physicals, good flair. Hoping to see that he does a good job for us. Then we go down the list a little bit, and we've got Milena, and I call him Frano. We'll go first team basis. And as you can see, nice stats. Going to play either in the deep line playmaking position in centre mid, or he can play. Initially, he was brought in to play in the attacking mid position. He can play either, but we have got someone else to play in that position as well. Then we got Gavin Hoy. Been able to bring him back on loan. I asked Sunderland at the beginning of the transfer, they didn't accept. Was able to get a bit more money wages wise through the sale of Samo. Then put another offer in for him, and they accepted. So luckily, we've been able to get him on board. Then another one, which I've always liked this player, Owen Garvin. A player that has got lots of experience, Irish, just come out of Colchester, used to play for Ipswich and Bolton, if I remember. Yeah, the mainstay was at Ipswich. On previous FMs, he was one that I used to pick up all the time. Haven't picked him up for a few years, but I had the opportunity to this year. Experienced midfielder. I thought he could come in, do a nice little job for us. Stick him in midfield. He's only on 1.3 thousand. I thought it was a good little buy. Then we go on to Klikic, who is a striker from Germany. Over the summer, we did a bit of an overhaul on the leagues that are I've got in my database. So I previously didn't have any of the international leagues, but now I've been able to upload Italy, Germany, Spain, France, and Portugal, which meant that players like Klisic came available. I sent scouts there. Then that meant they found them because they might not have had clubs for a year, 2 years, which helped me because I was able to pick up Klisic. Okay, his stats going down a little bit, but that's just, I think he was injured injured previously. So as you can see, good little player. Then we go on to Wally Diouf, who is a centre-back, French centre-back, 22 years old, very good jumping, very good heading. Looks a solid centre-back, so I'm pretty pleased with this one. Only 22, not massive amounts of wages. I think he's going to be one that will probably stay with us for about 1 or 2 seasons. Let us see where that goes from, really. Then we got a right back, Shea Facey. Okay, English, ex-Yeovil, looks decent on paper, doing alright so far in the season, which is good. Another one we got is John Routledge, centre mid, experienced centre mid. I needed that ball-winning centre midfielder, and he's been able to achieve that for me. So we've brought him in from Rochdale on a free transfer as well. Then we move down, and there's been 2 big signings towards the latter end of 3 big signings really. We've got Mike Nugget, who's a Manchester United trainee. He's a Regan. We kept an eye on him during pre-season. Couldn't sign him at the beginning. He wanted a lot of money. He wanted a key player role. Didn't want to give him a key player role because he's only 19. Gave him a rotational contract with a 1.7 earnings of 1.7. Thought it was a good little deal, worth a lot of money. If a club comes in and they want him, we'll get a nice bit of profit from him because we brought him in a free transfer. If he starts playing well for us, we benefit from that as well. So win-win situation there. Then we got Jonathan Benteke, the brother of Christian, who's at Crystal Palace. If we have a little look, he has been on the Crystal Palace books in real life, and then he's been at Colchester for the last 2 seasons. Stats wise, very good. Pretty pleased with this one. Been able to pick him up on a £2,000 contract on a rotational one as well. He's going to be this season probably switching with Gavin Hoy. I've picked him in because just in case Hoy gets injured, and I don't want to be reliant on Hoy because he's only on loan. So I picked up Jonathan Benteke. He's still only 24, which is great for us. And the big one. So I needed a new striker. So we also picked up Andrina. So I'm going to call him Nova as a little nickname for you. Ex-Reading. Looked at him last year to try to get him on loan. Then his contract ran out. Picked him up this summer. Looks decent as a backup. So that's that striker. But I still couldn't find that prolific striker that's going to bang me in 20-25 goals a season. Been having a look on the free transfers. I saw a few players. Ched Evans was one. Madison, ex-Scunthorpe player, was one. Joe Simpson was one, ex-Leyton Orient. Then Joe Garner came available. And Joe Garner, if you look at his stats, are very good. 31 years of age. Just played for Rangers, ex-Preston. I thought he could do me a job for this season. If he can pick up 20 goals this season, then I'll be pretty pleased. He's got a clause in his contract where if he does score 20 goals, he gets top. I think he gets like £31,000, which is great for us and great for him as well. But look at those stats. I'm pretty happy with them. Finishing's high, determination's high, off the ball teamwork, work rate. He only came in last week, so he's played one reserve game. He hasn't played a first team game yet. He hasn't made his debut for us yet. So maybe today he's going to make his debut. You never know. So something else that happened over the summer was Brexit. We were quite fortunate in the sense of this save, and it hasn't made any changes. The United Kingdom have left the European Union, but there have been no changes to registration or work permit, so it's still the exact same, which in some ways quite good because it means that it stays the same, not overcomplicated. I don't have to think too much because it's still the same. But I have seen some of the other ones and it would have been different to have a bit of a different one. But I'm quite happy. We just crack on. It just carries on the same. So let's have a look how pre-season went. Okay. So we had to set up a few friendlies. Obviously, due to the transfer with Ivan, I was able to set up a friendly with Newcastle and Sunderland because of the Hoy deal. So we went through the whole pre-season unbeaten, which is great. We were able to pick up some nice attendances, getting a little bit of money. We played alright. I was quite happy. Did a good job. Kept a few clean sheets as well. So we went into the beginning of the season. We played Chesterfield to begin with. Lost 1-0. Undeserving, really. We played alright. Didn't play badly, but we lost 1-0. Then we played Fulham in the EFL. Lost 2-1. So again, like last year, whenever we lost, we didn't lose by more than one goal, which in my eyes is good. Came up against Cheltenham, who came up last year with us, beat them 2-1. Then lost to Bolton 2-1. Then came across Gillingham, beat them 3-0. Beat Sheffield United 1-0. Beat Stevenage 1-0. Drew 0-0 with Portsmouth. Then we came across the bottom club in the league in Oxford and lost 3-0. It's our biggest defeat for a long, long, long time. Then the last time we lost by this amount of goals was a good season ago. Bit of disappointment. Players just didn't play very well. Couldn't do anything. Played Crawley, drew 1-1. Then came across 23rd in the league at that time, Scunthorpe. They beat us 2-1. So there's a bit of a rhythm going here where we're playing low clubs and not playing very well against them. Then came across Notts County, won 3-2. Coventry 1-1, and we just recently beat Colchester in the Checker Trade 3-1. So Checker Trade, we are through to the next round. In our group, we had West Ham United under 23s, Colchester and Stevenage. We're through to the next round on that one, so it's quite good because it means I don't have to worry about realistically playing West Ham and we're having to win, because obviously they have got a chance of bringing in some big players. Even if you look there, you look at the players that have been mentioned in Arsenal's under 23 team: Ross Barkley, Southampton, Shane Long, Kevin Stoopman. This is a competition for League 1 and League 2 clubs. I don't really like that the under 23 clubs are invited, because players like that shouldn't be allowed to come into this. Should just be the youth. But hey ho, that's a little grind in real life. This is FM. So our schedule looks quite compact at the moment because we've got quite a few international players. We're allowed to postpone certain games, which is quite helpful because it means we don't miss out on our big stars, but it also means we've got a bit of a backlog. So as you can see, we haven't played for 8 days, and that's mainly because over the weekend it was an international weekend. A few of our players are out on international. That's why the Bradford game got moved. You're probably wondering why I've chosen Bradford. Well, last season they finished the runners-up in the FA Cup in League 1. So they're a League 1 club and they finished FA Cup runners-up. No, they didn't. I was just trying to work out if that meant they were in Europe. So they're a good club. Like I know they're 21st in the league now and their form's not great, but I thought it'd be quite a nice little thing to just do against them. It's quite a nice little thing to see that they finished runners-up. gives us hope, I guess. Gives us hope. So if we look at the season so far, we are sitting 12th in the league, about mid-table. Kind of what I expected, to be honest, in some way. We haven't really scored many goals, obviously, because of the striker situation. Hopefully that will change with Joe Garner. Fingers crossed. But we haven't done badly either. Okay, we've lost 4 games, but we've drawn a few, we've won a few. We beat Sheffield United in one of them, which is obviously great for us. Preview: we aren't expected to finish bottom, because I think the players we have brought in are better than other teams. So if you have a little look here, Joe Garner and Wally Joof are our star players. Obviously Joe's only just come in, so Joof's I'm pretty happy with Joof as a signing. Found him through one of my scouts as soon as I opened the league for France, and he became available. And he's not on a big transfer wage, which is even better. So helpful for us in the finances. As we're talking about finances, let's have a little look. So we're currently spending. We've currently got 56,000. I can't make that any bigger, and that's down to financial fair play. I currently can spend another 3,000, so that's possibly one more player, but I'm not going to do it, just in case I find a gem in January or something like that, because I don't want to overspend, because also we'll get a slap on the wrist and a fine possibly, and if you do it a few too many times, then I don't know the repercussions, but they could be big. And also we don't really need to. We're looking to get rid of a few players that I haven't got on with recently, mainly Anton, because he hasn't played very well, and I'm trying to get rid of him ASAP, because I don't like him and he doesn't like me. So the other thing as well, if you look at our overall balance, it's in the we've got nearly 1.2 million. Which for a League One club is fab. Okay, there are obviously clubs that have come down from the Championship that have got bigger than us, but for a club that's come up from non-league and in 3 seasons, and the seasons we've had, this is a good amount of money to have in the bank. Obviously that is from our transfer sales. We've got money coming in, which is great, and also because we've got our new stadium been built, a lot of money's been pumped into that. We've got a new affiliated club this season as well. Nearly forgot about that. So new affiliated club, no one big, but it's Whitehawk. So we've been able to link it up with Whitehawk. So we've been sending some players on loan to them. We have sent a few players out on loan this season, so we've got a few more players out on loan than normal. This is basically because we've got some players in our squad now that aren't going to be playing first team football, that we still need the experience of playing regularly on a Saturday. My main one is Vit. He's the only one out of those players I signed at the beginning that is still at the club, and I want him to stay for as long as possible. He's a good little player with a nice bit of potential about him. His stats are good, so hopefully they'll increase with time. Sent him off to Kettering in the Vanarama North. He's had a cracking little start to his season there, and basically his debut season really. A few others are just youth players that I've been able to pick up. A few of them are my youth as well. So we're just keeping an eye on them, seeing how they get on. Hopefully they'll do well in their clubs, and they'll come back and hopefully make an improvement in our first team, or we'll gain profit by selling them on. So we have a little look at today's game. So tactics wise, we're still very similar to last few seasons, maybe a few tweaks. I'm not really sure what I've done anymore. I've done a few little tweaks to instructions. They've altered sometimes. So do a quick pick. First thing we're going to be doing is showing you Joe Day. I didn't show you in the transfers, but Joe Day is a keeper that I've brought in as a bit of competition for Dejan. And today he's going to be playing because Dejan's still on international duty. He's still travelling back. He's with Macedonia, so he's got a bit of travelling to do. Reports-wise, he's actually meant to be better than Dejan. Still meant to be League 2 standard, but not a bad little keeper. So he did also play in the last game that we had as well. He can play the sweeper keeper perfectly, which is great. So he's going to be starting for us. Right back, we got Shea Facey. Centre back, we've got also this boy's come in in the summer is Asenzo. Okay, centre back from Italy. He kind of rotates a little bit with Will Nightingale. Today we will put Will Nightingale in and put Asenzo on the bench. This is what UN chose for it, so might do a few little changes. Wally in the other centre back position, then Adam on the left, John Routledge and Frano in the centre. Then on the right we got Raymond Doherty, who is a right winger, who is very much like Gormley. Youth player, looks decent. Trying to train him up to be inside forward. I think. Is he still on international? No, he's needs a rest. Okay, so Neil Gormley needs a bit of a rest. That's fine, not a problem. Then in centre mid position, in the attacking mid position, we've got Jonathan Benteke. On the left, we've got Alban, who is a left attacking. I think I'm going to change that and put Drazan there. Okay, Gavin Hoy's having a little break, bringing Jonathan Benteke. And up front, Joe Garner for his official debut for the club. On the bench, Fraser Siddle, still with us. Elsesio. Then we got Alban, Klikic, Reece Lawrence, who is a on loan player from Sheffield Wednesday, Gavin Hoy and Tom Hitchcock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take off Tom, and I'm going to put on a centre mid of some sort. We can put Mike Nugget on, just to kind of have that player, just in case I get an injury there. If you look at the rest of the players, some of them you'll probably recognise, some of them like Nova's there. You got Alex Bradley, Quintano, Owen's injured at the moment. Cyril's coming back from an injury. Johnny Hurd's still at the club. He'll be here until he retires. We play him every so often. So we'll go into today's game and see what happens. Really. So I have to give a number to Joe Garner. I can't give him number 10, as much as he'd love it. I can't give it to him. So we're gonna go into this. We do have this game in hand. If we win it, obviously we go up to 9th place. Well, actually we'd go above. We go 8th because our goal difference. Let's see what happens. Really, if we lose it, we stay where we are, which is quite nice, I guess. So just go with the passionate and the assertively to say you've got faith with them. So they're playing 4-4-2 standard. We're playing obviously our 4-5-1. Joe Garner's lost the ball to start with. So this season's going as I hoped, really. I don't expect us to be in a relegation battle throughout the season because we've been able to get better players in. As I say that, one of my better players has just conceded a penalty. Luckily, the referee hasn't booked him, but he's booked Joe Garner for gobbing off. Joe Garner's up in the attacking play, up in the striking position, and they score it. So James Jones has scored the penalty after 14 minutes for Bradford, so they go 1-0 up. Not the start we'd have wanted, not the start that we'd have liked, but one to see if we can improve from. We are playing away from home. We are playing counter. Hopefully we can ensure that we don't get our heads down and that we actually do play as we should do. So we'll go passionate, encourage. So yeah, like I was saying, don't expect to be in a relegation battle. Expect to be in the mid-table positions. If I get in that playoff position, perfect. I don't expect to, but maybe with these players we can actually pull out the unexpected. I feel if we get a striker that can score, or an attacking midfielder that can score, just like Benteke has just then we can push on and we can actually make a charge for the playoffs. There's some big clubs in this league. I don't expect to be able to just turn up and make a case for us straight away, but I feel we can prove to a few clubs that we're a battle to play against. Goal kick for us, that didn't really come into anything. Adam made up for that penalty by crossing it in for Jonathan Benteke. Obviously, Joe's on a yellow card. It was a bit of a frustrating factor because he got it for dissent to the referee, which I don't like. But we'll crack on. They're on the attack. Day picks it up. Hopefully, he can give a big boot to it. Joe Day comes in as our captain as well, basically because of his experience. He's 29 years old. He's going to push Day on all season, I think, in goal. And he's also that perfect sweeper keeper. So he might start more games as the season progresses. If we have a little look, Bradford have switched to a 4-3-3. There's not really much I can do to counter it majorly because we are already playing wide. We're already playing with width. So we'll just see how they change their tactics a little bit. Possibly look at taking Joe Garner off. He hasn't played first team football for a while. He is 31 years old, so we'll look at probably 75 minutes taking Joe Garner off. He's not had the impact I'd have liked today, but over time you never know. So we've nicked it, and they've nicked it back. It's possibly going to be a goal, yes. Okay, so they go 2-1 up. So we will make those changes now. So bring off Joe Garner and put Klisic on. We'll bring off Raymond Doherty and put on Gavin Hoy. He can play on that right hand position, but I'm going to switch Benteke. So Benteke goes onto that right hand position, and Gavin goes into the centre attacking mid position. So a few yellow cards down the line here, but hopefully they will not get themselves sent off. So we picked it up, they gave it back, then they were on top of us. Gallagher puts it in top corner. So 2-1 down, that 4-3-3. I still don't really know how we can counter it by making changes to our tactic because we are already in a position to go wide. It's one of those struggles that I've got at the moment. Definitely playing against three up front. A few clubs are doing it. Looks like the game's going to wilter out as well. Hasn't really had anything happen. Looks like it's going to be 2-1 victory for Bradford. It's an unfortunate result for us, but unfortunately that's how things go, to be honest. We are inconsistent in this league, a bit like last year. But then as the season got into grips, we were able to get a bit of consistency together, and then that allowed us to get into the position that we finished. So hopefully we can carry that on this time around, do the exact same. We're in October now, so I'm hoping to pick things up as we go along. Got an FA Cup game coming up in a few weeks. We're going to go from there really, and hopefully pick up. If you look, morale's high, which I can't really complain at, which is great. So guys, we're going to leave it there. As always, thanks for pressing play, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.